morning and welcome to class, or good afternoon if you're catching this one later on. Well, lunch and learn. So I guess it's midday, right? Now we're going to go ahead and dive right in, making sure we can get you out of here in under an hour. And I'm really excited for this one. Becoming a hyperlocal agent has been requested that I do a training. I want to go over my 3-step system with you. So this way you get the entire overview of how you can become a hyperlocal agent and to make sure that you're getting more leads and more listings on a hyper local level, meaning that you have to do a whole lot driving around, a whole lot less driving around. And this way you are just in a much, much better position to also do life. I can tell you my life changed when I did that. It really, really did, which was amazing. So, becoming a hyperlocal agent, we're going to talk about the 3 pillars that I use for this one. Now, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I am going to monitor it. And one of the things we're going to talk about first and foremost is a free gift. Yes, I want you to stay through the end for an honest review of today's class on Google. And the reason is simple. These classes are 100% free, and I need some help to reach more people with them. So if you can just leave a Google review, if it was helpful, I will go ahead and I will reach out, or you can reach out to me. You can let me know in the chat that you've done a Google review, and we're going to get you one of the business builder boxes shipped as a thank you, free of charge. Now, what's inside the Business Builder box? The Business Builder box is really a fun box for agents to help them build their referral and retention business. So when your clients are getting a note card sent from you, right, they're going to stay top of mind. So that is what this box is. It's a little gift box. You see here a couple of our past boxes we've done. They are a whole lot of fun. Our members absolutely love them. Come with note cards, come with activity trackers, gifts. This one was obviously St. Patrick's Day themed, Valentine's Day themed. They do come with books in them every now and then as well. So you may get one with a book in it. So there's a lot of stuff in it, okay? A lot of stuff to help you build a better business. And that's all for just a review of today's class, okay? An honest review. Sound good? Yes? Okay. So today's class, once it's finished, you can text review, or you can do that right now to 844-950-3580. It'll get you to my Google page. Now, if you want to just Google the hyperlocal agent on Google, you can do that too, but it's just the easier thing, I think. So again, I would love for you to leave an honest review after class. Fair? Awesome. With that said, become a hyperlocal agent. That is what we are all wanting to do on this call, right? We're trying to make sure that we do a whole lot more business in our own backyard. I hate seeing another agent sign going up in my neighborhood, right? It's just, I'm like, I know I could be the better agent. I know I would go and do more. Now, with that said right here, and I want to just turn off my camera real quick so you can see all the slides a little better. And then this way, there you go. All right. So what's a hyperlocal agent? Let me know in the comments what you think a hyperlocal agent actually is. And I'll just wait a couple minutes. Yes, it's interactive. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. All right. Is it an agent who sells in a small area a lot? Is it a volunteer? Is it a PTA member? Can a real estate agent even be hyperlocal? Is it a voice in the community? Is it an agent who only sells in a specific neighborhood? So many questions. What is a hyperlocal agent? So I thought nothing better than starting off with our manifesto. So here is the Hyperlocal Agent Manifesto. And as you can see, a hyperlocal agent stands for a lot of things. I'm going to read that with you so you can actually see if this is your identity, because this is me. I am recognized as the leading expert in the local real estate market. I am proud to be a part of the community, and I thrive to make a positive impact in the area I serve. I'm always learning and adapting to stay on top of the latest industry trends. I'm passionate about helping people find their dream home. I connect with buyers and sellers. I connect buyers and sellers to their dream homes effortlessly. I believe in giving back to the community by supporting local charities or organizations. I use the latest technology to market properties and reach the right buyers. I believe in building long-lasting relationships with my clients based on trust and mutual respect. I provide my clients with the highest level of value through expert knowledge of the local market. I strive to be the voice of the community by keeping up to date with local trends and events. I host signature events to bring the community together and showcase the unique qualities of my area. I understand the local market and will help find the perfect home for you. I offer an unparalleled level of customer service to my clients. I make sure my clients are well informed to make the best decision. We are a movement of hyperlocal real estate agents across the US, specializing in a specific geographic area. I am a hyperlocal real estate agent. All right, who identified with that? Let me know in the comments if you identified with all of that. Yes, this is our manifesto. This is what we have created for all of our agents. My goal personally is to create 100 hyperlocal agents every year. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up. Knowing that I can call 100 more new agents who are the expert in the area, I don't have to wait for a property to hit the MLS. I can literally just call up Susie, Stacy, right? John, I can call you guys up and be like, hey, I have a client that actually would really be interested in living in your neighborhood. If you got on any listing appointments lately, anything coming on the market, I have the ability to get ahead of the game by being a hyper local agent with a hyper local network. And I'm so excited that I get to count you guys in as people that are ready to become that agent. Now, I'm going to hook you a little bit to the end because, yes, I know there's a lot of going on. We're all in real estate. There's a free quiz at the end. I want you to stay through the end so you can get the 10 quiz questions to find out how much of a hyper-local agent you already are, okay? So make sure you're going to stay through the end and we'll find out together. Real quick, introducing myself. My name is Janine Sasso. I have a hyper-engaged farm of 3,500 homes and a second farm of 2,100 homes. I can tell you I did not start there, but we'll get to my story later. I'm a mom of 2 young kids. I wrote 2 Amazon best-selling books. I recently moved into our dream home. I'm in my company's top 5 as a solo agent nationally and top 2% regionally. I'm also a licensed real estate instructor and help agents grow their business. Now, I'm also actively selling. I think I should probably add that to the slide. I am actively selling. I'm actively doing what I tell you I'm doing here. So I can tell you it's not just theory, okay? So, and first up, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, isn't he cute? Is this going to be a sales pitch? I've been on so many of them. And first and foremost, I want to talk about this part here because we all have that in the back of our mind if we attend free classes these days. So this is going to be not a sales pitch, but I do have 3 options for you to decide what you want to do next after class. Because if you just attend class and then you go back, right, without taking any further action on what you've learned, there was no point in being here. So I do have 3 paths that I tell all my students to go through after they attend a class. If you are the lifetime learner and you just love classes, I'll see you back on Monday, right? Come to another class, learn a little bit more. The lifetime learner, that is me. I love learning. I love discovering new things. It's just making you feel confident when you have classes under your belt. So I get it, right? So if that's you, yes, next Monday, new class, new topic on all things hyperlocal. Yes, still free. So you can definitely come and check that one out. if you want all the classes on hyperspeed, we'll talk about that too. The book, I am an author of real estate books. So I have written Success with Real Estate Mailers, which is all about postcard marketing. And you can look into that one. If you love to get my book, I would love the support. And last but not least, if you are just saying, I've had the classes, I've done all the things, I'm ready for some action, then I do have an action taker path for you, which is all about attending my 5-day mailer bootcamp. Yes, it's still free. And this is where you really get into action, get your first postcard put together, and get it sent out into your hyper local area. Okay. So let me go over those 3 paths with you right here. You have the Lifetime Learner. This is our 30-day class pass. There's over 24 plus classes I hosted, yes, by me, like this one, on geographic farming and direct mail, in which we really go step by step. Some of these classes, you can see them here. We talk about hyperlocal lead generation masterclass. There's like 35 different ways to generate leads, success with postcards. I need listings ASAP masterclass. The playbook, find your profitable geographic farm, discover lead magnet for real estate agents, hyperlocal lead gen with quizzes. So many of them, obviously all focused on just those 2 things, okay? Geographic farming and direct mail marketing. So yes, and we have added our hyperlocal buyer presentation, hyperlocal listing presentation. So many. I tell you, there's so much gold sitting in it. So that's the class pass. There's a button below, and you can get instant access to all of those classes with the button below this video. It's kind of like ClassFlix, like Netflix for real estate agents, right? Yeah. So for the bookworm, check out my books. I've written several books on postcards. I mentioned that, covering lead generation, listing marketing, and nurturing your sphere for more repeat and referral business. You can check those out. It is a #1 Amazon bestseller, and I think this book has gotten so many positive reviews from peers that have written books, and I'm really proud of it. I have over 30 designs in there as well that you can use for inspiration. And then for the last one, our action takers, that is our 5-day challenge to really get into action, figure out your first or next mailer that gets you these leads. Okay, because if you just send a mailer and you got nothing before, time to change that. And that's the bootcamp. So button is below, or you can go to mailerbootcamp.com. All right, we talked about the elephant, and if you are good, let's go ahead and dive into today's class. If you are like me and you like to have a workbook along for the ride, you can go to the hyperlocalagent.com/workbook. It personally helps me to stay focused. I can refer back to it. I'm a note taker. It also has additional resources on the back that you can check out. So again, if you are a workbook person, you can get the workbook for class. It just prints out. It's 4 pages, super simple, and I hope you take me up on it, because multitasking is hard. So make sure you have something to focus yourself on. That's me and my family on a trip in Europe. My personal favorite hat is mom. I love being mom to these 2 beautiful boys. And really, that's the reason I got into real estate. Now, but when I got into it, I didn't realize it was such a demanding career. I really did not think this through, but I love everything about it. But I also realized I needed to make sure I had systems in place and know what I was doing. Okay. So before we dive into the 3 steps of how you can become a hyperlocal agent too, there's one thing that needs to be in place. And if you want to guess what that is, let me know in the comments right now. Yes, interactive. I know, you're welcome. Let me know in the comments. What do we got? That's right, a profitable geographic farm. You need to have a geographic farm selected, right? I mean, you can technically apply anything that I'm telling you and do a spray and pray campaign, right? Where you just do different areas, hope something's going to stick. But it's really all about staying consistent in one area. And this area doesn't have to stay small, okay? So I told you when my farm is 3,500 and 2,100. It didn't start there. I started with 100 flyers. I then understood a little bit more about direct mail, and I migrated to the next level, which was like 400 homes. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can reach 400 households with a push of a button. And that was like amazing. And I was hooked. And then from there, I expanded. Now I cover my entire zip code. And again, I'm really excited. I don't know, I'm done expanding yet, but now it's time to solidify my foothold, and then we're going to see where the road leads. So, did you know marketers who use 4 to 6 channels in their multi-channel campaigns report the best response rates? Okay, that is a demand metric from 2020. And I want to dive into that one a little bit because it has to do with farming. Okay, 4 to 6 channels in their multi-channel campaigns, meaning how many different ways are you able to stay in front of people so they can see you, right? I compare it to book club. There are some people that like the physical book. There are some people that like to read the Kindle version. There's people that like the audiobook. There's people that prefer watching the movie over the book. Okay. There are so many different ways to consume something, and people are the same way. There's people that love to read, people that like to watch. There's people that like to see a short little 30-second TikTok on it, right? So it's all about having multi channels to find the people and really take that mind share in today's day and age. Okay. One channel is no longer enough. And one of the best ways, the easiest way to integrate 4 to 6 channels is geographic farming. Okay. You get addresses, you get word of mouth from the neighbors, you get geographic brand awareness through your signage. Okay. We are able to get emails. You could just knock on their door if you wanted. You can text them if you have a phone number. You can sponsor events and have them see you there, right? There's just so many ways that you can be in front of the same people over and over and over to really help you. This is almost impossible when you do something like YouTube videos or when you do something like Facebook ads. Okay. That's why farming, in my opinion, is the number one thing every single agent needs to have under their belt. And this is what we're going to start with. How do you even find a wildly profitable geographic farm in just 7 steps? Because let's be honest, we all need to know it's doable in just a few steps. So, 7 steps to this. Let's dive into step number 1. I need you to go to the USPS.com website, United States Postal Service. And there is a service called EDDM to select the routes for your area, which will then give you the total house count. Okay, that is problem number 1 we're solving. You do not have to know how many homes are in your neighborhood because the United States Postal Service keeps track of all those mailboxes. All those mailboxes are associated with households, meaning that you know exactly how many households are there. Now, the biggest one I get here is, yeah, but the route is only halfway going through my neighborhood. Okay, we have this system in place because it helps us select routes as we expand. Okay, expansion is a big part of the model that we teach because if you have 300 houses, you will never make a living to, let's say, 6 figures. Okay, 300 homes in your neighborhood is never going to give you enough on the bottom line, unless, of course, you sell in California. And yes, you guys are having a lot of high prices. But again, for most of us, okay, the majority on here, 300 houses, if you sell, let's say, 3 of them, okay, 1%, let's just say for argument's sake, you're still not going to have that income that you want. Make sense? Okay. So that's why we want to make sure we are built for expansion, and it helps with the house count as well. Step 2, select the same area in your MLS with the mapping tool. Most of our MLSs have a mapping tool, so you can draw a rough outline of that route that you just saw displayed on the United States Postal Service. I know those routes look a little crazy. Sometimes they could go all over the place. Just try your best. Don't over obsess over it, okay? And then I want you to look at the closed properties for the last full year, okay? Full year, not year to date, because the year's not done yet, full date. So right now, 2024, so I would want you to look back for 2023. I also want you to go back a couple more years because obviously our market is a little wonky, right? You guys know that. Click for the results and see how many homes have sold last year. Yes, click for results. I want you to look at these results and see if you find one dominating agent, meaning is there one name that pops up over and over and over and over? Okay? I want you to check for that. If there's only one, not that big of a deal. If you see there's two agents already battling it out, it might not be the best place to start out. Okay? Just it's possible, but it's just expensive. Go to the calculator and then enter the total sales from the MLS. So let's say there's 30, okay? So total sales from the MLS, how many of these homes actually sold? Again, we're just going to assume 30. And then divide it by the number of homes on that mailing route. So let's say we're going to go with our 300, okay? Which actually is a little high. Let's go with, let's see. Let's see, 600. Let's do 600. All right, so 30 houses sold, and the entire farm that we looked at has a total of 500 houses. So 30 divided by 500 will give you 0.06. Okay, now that decimal we're going to multiply by 100, which will give us what we call turnover rate. In this case, we have a 6% turnover rate, which would be considered phenomenal in our seller's market. And this would be a great farm, provided that there's no two agents already battling it out. If there's one, that's okay. But if there's two, it just gets expensive. And we typically don't recommend going in there unless you have a lot of money you want to spare. Okay, so now that you know how to find your wildly profitable geographic farm, let's first and foremost congratulate you. You're ready to unlock the true secrets to becoming a hyper local agent. Okay, it's kind of like picking your farm field. That's what we just did. Picking your farm field in order for you to really have fertile soil to plant your plants, plant your roots, right? Make sense, everybody? Let me know in the comments. Yes, interactive. It helps me make sure that what I'm saying is actually sinking in. It makes sense. Perfect. Awesome. All right, let's talk about the BLT in real estate. Yes, I am all for funny little graphics to just make sure class remains fun. Yum, yum. I know. The BLT in real estate. So if you look here, the BLT breaks down to a nice little triangle. I know, you've seen that one before, right? And I'm going to go over this one just so you can see what all of this stands for. The BLT is be known, okay? You need to first and foremost be known by people. You need to be liked, okay? People need to like you. And then you need to be trusted, okay? People need to trust you, right? Know, like, trust. Yes, we just call it a BLT because it makes for a whole lot better abbreviation than KLT. I mean, what's a KLT anyhow, right? Now, we got a BLT. Okay. So this one here is how the hyperlocal BLT translates over. We got a 3-tier system that we use inside our geographic farm. And once you see it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's so simple. It is so simple. It really is. And the cool part is it's not only simple, it is completely scalable, meaning that you can decide how many people you actually want. There's no one-on-ones we do. So let's start with the first one. Okay, the be known. The be known for us, we have abbreviated it to envelopes. Now, envelopes can be a lot of things for us. It could be flyers, it could be postcards. So it's not just envelopes, but it was an E, so we just had to pick that E and not just direct mail. But this is where print marketing really comes into play. Okay, print marketing is our how do we get people to know about us kind of thing. And that's it. The next one, emails. In the emails, we are building trust and likability. Okay. They get to know us in those emails a little bit better. They get to decide, hey, I have things in common, or hey, I don't have things in common with her, or I don't even like her, right? And those emails, we're going to then filter out people based on do they even want to talk to us? Okay. Now, why do we have it this way? We have it this way around because direct mail's response rate is 750% more than email. Okay. I could have gone out and I could have gotten a email list for my neighborhood and just blasted them. I did not do that because we needed to get a better response rate. We wanted to make sure that we actually went with the most amount of people, and direct mail's response rate is off the hook. And that graph, that stat comes from the Direct Marketing Association. Okay. And then the last one, which is events. Now, and for events, most of us are thinking about, oh, putting on an event, a giant community event. But events can be a lot of things. Okay. A listing appointment, that can be an event. A buyer consultation, that can be an event. And of course, community events can be events as well. Okay. All right. This formula has truly one side effect. And I'm going to go back just one more time so you can see it. Okay. This is a very simple system we follow. Envelopes get people to know us, emails get people to like us, and then events get people to trust us, say yes to us, and become a client. Do you see how simple this is? I know, right? Yes. Awesome. Okay. So, what's the side effect? Let's talk about that one. The side effect is truly scalability. Your effort over time and the impact and reach you're going to have. Now, I had to put this little graphic together to kind of make sense of it, but I want to go over that. So, the impact and the reach. You have a compounding activity, meaning that people will more and more and more notice your envelopes, your mail, your postcards, right? And when they do, your impact and your reach increases over time. So you see that here, all right? Impact and time. Now let's talk about that effort. You see here, we do have a little bit of a effort curve, okay? That is when you get going initially. I just need you to see that there is effort involved. This is not a magic pill. This requires you to put some more effort in the beginning, but after that, it is amazing. It is just all gravy from there. So let's dive into each one of these in detail so you understand what is involved with each one of these 3 steps. Sound good? Yes? Awesome. All right, let's do it. So let's talk about envelopes first. Today's person is busy. Would you agree? Yes? Because I just glanced over on my phone trying to, see why it lit up and trying to remind myself I am literally teaching a class. It is so addictive, people. Again, phones down, focus here. All right. And I talk fast, so you're almost done with class. So keep focusing. You already got the 3 part system. Okay, we went over that one. I showed you how to find a profitable farm, and we're only 30 minutes in. Okay, learned a lot already. And that's why I take notes, because then we need to take action. Okay. So 60% of people reported that direct mail had a more lasting mental impression on them. That was a market reach study from 2015. And I thought it was really interesting because if I look and think about an ad I was showing online versus something that I got in the mail, I can remember what I got in the mail. Think about how you are behaving, right? Think about your own behavior. Isn't it interesting? Now, today's person also mistrusts everyone and everything, right? They've been burned before. How many of you are still sitting here on this call and thinking, okay, when is she going to sell me? I think we already talked about it. I'm not going to sell you anything after this one, but you get to pick which path is right to you to continue your learning. Okay. But this is why we really have to consider what consumers are feeling when they see advertisement. Consumers believe direct mail to be 11% more personal, 17% more likely to catch their attention, and 17% more trustworthy. Okay, that is a study from the Macro Marketing Report, and it's really interesting when you think about direct mail. If something has been around for that long, it is bound to be more trustworthy. Okay, so we're just gonna use that medium, and not a whole lot of agents are gonna do it because they think it's expensive, which I can tell you it really is not. Now, chances are this is also not your first time you see me, my name pop up in your email or feed, and finally decided to join me, right? Yes? There you go. It takes time and it takes trust for some things. That doesn't mean that becoming a hyperlocal agent is not done fairly quickly. Okay? And we'll talk about that part too. For example, my expansion into my second farm, I took my first listing in 27 days. Yes, totally possible. All right, so let's get back to the first part though. I'll talk about trust a little bit later. Busy, okay? We are all busy, yes. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why paper is actually your most underestimated medium to use for marketing, okay? And that one is huge. So make sure you take notes on those 5 reasons of why to use paper. Direct mail allows the recipient to consume it on their own time. That is huge. How many of you are just opening up Facebook out of habit or anything else out of habit? And then you just had, this thing where you're like, oh, like I actually have to do that. And you put your phone back down. Yeah. Did you just consume it? Did you just glance it? Were you actually like there? No, right? But direct mail, you can decide, okay, I want to focus on this now, right? Now, this can be in the afternoon. This can be at 3 a.m. in the morning, right? When something is just keeping them up. A week after it was delivered, you'd be surprised how many times I actually get leads, days or even weeks after delivery, when they return from a vacation. What if they're actually on vacation right now? What if they had to attend an out of state function, right? Or when they have a sleepless night. They are in charge to decide when they want to consume it, which is huge. Direct mail is easy for you to target a specific area or price point at scale. Yes, our first order of business is for people to know about you. If they don't know you exist, how are they even supposed to hire you, right? And you can pick the area. Remember when Facebook was allowing you to do like a 1 mile radius for a neighborhood, and then that got shut down? But that was, you know, way back, like years and years ago. Guess what? We still have targeting abilities with mail. Yes, it just makes sense, right? Not only can you pick the area, you can also pick essentially the price point you want to do business in. What if you want to target a high-end neighborhood? What if you want to say, hey, I want my price point to be a minimum of $1 million? Okay? You can decide what is best for you and your business. Direct mail equals trust. When a business is able to send direct mail pieces, it solidifies the belief that the business is trustworthy. I mean, scammers use what? Online ads, phone calls, door knocks, and emails, right? Anything that is essentially free. Having a mail piece come to you that is trustworthy just speaks volumes, because mail is not one of those free mediums, right? Mail takes investing into. So if you think about, okay, why would somebody go through that trouble and spend thousands of dollars on a scam if they could just run an online ad or invest their time and make phone calls. Make sense? Yes. Direct mail is actually extremely profitable. And I get argued on that one a whole lot because they're like, no, direct mail is expensive. And I'm like, actually, if you combine the response rates of email, PPC, which is pay per click, okay, like advertisement, and social media, and then triple that amount, it would then and only then be as effective as direct mail. Yes, let that sink in. If you combined the response rate of email, PPC, pay per click, and social media, and then tripled that number, only then would it be as effective as direct mail. Isn't that crazy? That alone for me was reason enough to say, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I know, I'm such a mail nerd. All right, now that I hopefully showed you just a few reasons why I think envelopes is the way to start out to be known, let's move into the next tier. Are we good on all of that? Make sense? How about you type in your biggest aha moment so I can read those? I want to make sure that I know where I need to go deeper in the slides, ask your questions. Okay, and then we'll make sure I'll answer those as well. All right, moving on with email. Have you been told before to send emails consistently? I mean, has anybody, a mentor, a broker, anybody ever said, hey, you should send out an email consistently? Have you ever wondered why? Email is a professional medium to communicate. Fact. Okay. When we use email, there is a certain level of professionalism. There's a signature on the bottom, right? There is a from and to field. It just feels very professional, almost like a letter. But in today's world, email can also serve another purpose. Yes, there's another purpose to email. Let me tell you which one. Real connection. Now, obviously, that depends on the type of email you are sending, but you can build a real connection with another person. I go into a whole lot of detail in my email. So if you pull up some of my email, I think some of you can honestly say, especially if you've been on my email list longer, can honestly say, like, oh, I know this person. I know she is in the Chicagoland area. I know she has 2 kids, right? I know she is a real estate agent. You have a real connection through email. Remember the chat rooms from way back when? I know, not way back when, but it seems like a long, long time ago. Yes, the chat rooms where you're like, hey, what's your interest? Well, you're finding your people, your tribe. And that is what is happening with this system. Finding your people is really where the magic happens. When people connect with you on a level where you're like, oh my gosh, she's like me, or I like to do that too, you are building a likability factor. So let's dive into this science-based phenomenon because there is actually some real cool science behind that part. Have you ever heard about a parasocial relationship? Yes, parasocial relationship. Yes, no, no, yes, yes. Okay. In a parasocial relationship, you are becoming involved or interested in someone's life without that person knowing about you. Okay? So, example of what we have happen a lot is celebrities. Yes, celebrities have that happen all the time. Okay? So, before you think it sounds creepy, let's think about the feeling you have when watching a movie or a show. Have you ever rooted for one character more than the other? Right? Were you just like, oh yeah, rumors got it that she's pregnant, like that movie star. You know about the movie star. The movie star does not know that you're thinking about her pregnancy. Okay? That is called a parasocial relationship. And that is something that is very, very real in the real estate industry as you become a hyperlocal agent. I have people come up to me a lot, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, yes, how was your trip?" And I'm like, "Great, who are you?" So again, they are on my email list. They know that I came back from a camping trip. Again, I don't share it while I'm gone. Okay, that's a safety thing. But they know that, hey, I saw you were going camping a few times this summer, right? We like to go too. Where do you like to go? Or hey, I saw you went hiking, or right? You did all these things. And that is when people know about what you do without you knowing that they know about it. So that's why I talked about the celebrities and how you know about their relationship status or the names of their kids, and they don't even know you exist, right? That's right. Parasocial relationship. Yes. So in this event, you have established a parasocial relationship with that celebrity. Now you can become, as the hyperlocal agent, that celebrity, which seems crazy because you'd think like, oh my gosh, there's no way. And I thought that too until people were like, oh yeah, how do you know that? So it's time for you to become that celebrity. And that's yes, through email updates. Now, sending a weekly email helps people know what your life is like each day. And don't worry, the more mundane, the better. Now, when I say mundane, the more boring is better. I was folding laundry. Oh my gosh, I fold laundry too. I know, right? When I was looking at my son's bedroom, it looked like a bomb exploded in it. And I'm just hoping that he finally is going to clean it up before school starts. Everyday stuff. Or hey, my dog peed on my carpet. Yes, boring, right? But that's what happens to us every single day. We have to really share the stuff that's relatable, where people are like, yes, I know this happens to me too. Oh, she has a dog, right? There's another one. Why? Because people will be able to relate to you much, much faster this way. I want you to think about Seinfeld. Everybody familiar with that show? The show about nothing? That's right. They do a phenomenal job having an entire show about nothing. I mean, about a breakup, maybe, right? Or just having a friend come over, having a conversation. I mean, really, if you look at that show, the show about nothing, it's amazing. But I think you may still be on the fence about this. Yes, I can see that hesitation in the chat. So let me share with you a story from one of my company's workshops for their top producers. Okay. So I was sitting in that room, and my company had a very interesting speaker that they flew in. I never heard about him, but he had a way to demand attention. It was really interesting. So, well, actually, I paid attention. He went over the BLT. Yes, he called it a know, like, and trust funnel. And then he asked which one is the most important part: know, like, or trust. Drop your guess in the comments. Which one do you think is the most important part of that BLT or the KLT? Trust, know, like. Okay, now we got them all. Okay, so here's what he said, and I thought it was so interesting. He went on, I know all of you now, right? I just walked in the room, now I know all of you. So I know I can trust any of you, and you would get the job done because you're all top producers. Okay, you are all here as the cream of the crop for your company. I know I can trust any of you to get my household. But I might like John over there because he wears a New York Yankees jersey, or I like Susie over there because she told me a story during break that made me laugh. And that had me pause in my tracks. I'm like, so the no factor is great. I mean, how many people know an agent? That's not really hard these days, right? Now, how many people trust an agent to get the job done? Right? I mean, if you know, like, people get jobs done. So if that's not the no and not the trust, people hire on the like factor. Who do I even like to do business with? Isn't that interesting? So, how do we establish that at scale? Again, remind me? Email. That's right. We use email because email lets us build a likability factor at scale. Do you believe me now that building this parasocial relationship is important? Yes, consistent email. I know. Part of what we do inside Geossential, which is the program that I have my entire real estate business run on, the fourth week of the month, we schedule out all of our emails for the month ahead. All of them. That's right. Takes about an hour, and all my emails are done. Why? So I stay consistent. Okay? Yes. Now, here's what I do not recommend you send. Okay? Do not send just listed emails. Do not send just sold emails. And do not send coming soon emails. Do not send open houses. Do not send just checking in. And please do not send your company newsletter. I know, something is better than nothing. I get that mentality that companies have. But here's what I want to show you. This is what happens when you send a company newsletter. Yes, talk about a whoopsie. These here are agents who somehow I ended up on the email list for the same company. And there's nothing better than just having the same subject, the same message and everything, and then wonder, oh yeah, that must be a real crafty email she wrote. Consumers aren't stupid, okay? And that's one of those reasons why I think we just have to do a better job if this is truly the path you're looking to take. Because it is the easier path, but you do have to have certain, personal things in place, such as building a relationship with you. I'm not building a relationship with Hannah over here, and I'm not building a relationship with Kim, because neither Hannah or Kim are going to tell me anything that is unique about them. They're going to tell me all about the company. Okay? I can't build a parasocial relationship with a company. It doesn't work. Okay? Make sense? Yes. This is why all these companies have mascots. Okay. That leaves the third one, the event. We're going to have to hurry up here a little bit to get you out on time. Before you freak out on events, because I know this is where people are like, I don't want to do events. I want nothing to do with them. Have you ever hosted an open house? Yes. Have you ever hosted an open house? Let me know in the comments. Ever hosted one? Yes, not yet. An open house is an event, okay? Yes, an open house is an event. How about a listing appointment? Have you ever gone on a listing appointment? That's an event. Yeah, that is what something is leading up to. It's an event. Then it happens and then it's over. That's literally the definition of an event. So, guess what the most important part of an event is? Any guesses? What's the most important part of the event? Any thoughts? Most important part of the event. It's not the event. I'll give you a hint. What's the most important part? All right. It's not the event. Yes. No, not the event. It's the before. Okay? Before the event. That is the most important part of the event. The amount of effort it takes getting the word out about the event, getting things prepared for the event, it's mind-blowing. And that is the most important part of it. Does that make sense? Yes. So, since so much time is spent on the before the event, don't you think it's in your best interest to make it count and design it for longevity? Right? Really making it count and get the best of the best put together. Now, what got longevity? What's in there for the long run? Let me know in the comments. What could we do? That's right, print marketing. Yes, print marketing has one of the longest shelf lives as it relates to anything we do in real estate. Now, I'm also going to show you in a minute how I accomplished that personally. Before I dive into that part, I have a real cool graphic here I want you to look at. This one here is post-delivery statistics. 31% of all mail items were still at home a month after they were delivered. Okay? And then 36% of people have a specific place in the house where they save print ads of interest. That's right. So this one here is a heat map showing where specific items of mail are displayed in a typical household. Okay? Kitchen. 51% keep their mail in the kitchen, a room that is literally the most frequented, right? Yes. So I want to be in that room. And guess what? Most people put 50 or 51% of people put their mail there. That's phenomenal. Next up, living room. That's right, where people hang out. Sit down, hang out, right? This is where people put their mail. This is awesome. Now I'm already at 82% of chances that I will be seen on a day-to-day. Now we got 6% on the dining room, 3% in the bedroom, 5% in the study, and 1% in the bathroom. I mean, good for them. And then the other one is 18% in the hallway, a room that gets passed through when you come down from the bedrooms, when you go to the bathroom, when you go to the kitchen, right? This is really, really good as well. So just between the three top contenders, where we're at, 80, 90, right? That is like a lot of, I'm like adding it up. Hold on. That doesn't add up. Everybody see that? 82, right? It's 100 right there in the three heat maps. 100. Okay, I will verify that. That's Royal Mail Market Reach, Jigmail, and Veracast that have these. So it might be a combination of those three, but this is obviously more than 100%. So our study has like 100 and I don't know, let's see. 114% total. Okay. So this one here is definitely one we need to look into. But on average, I think you guys can agree kitchen, living room, and hallway are the top contenders. Okay. Now, even more important, people get an opportunity to make sure you're truly legitimate. Okay. That's a really big one. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a personal story because being legitimate in today's day and age, it must mean a lot, right? That is where we get trust. Now, 82% of millennials, okay, we're talking about millennials here, view print advertisements as more trustworthy than digital ads. These people grew up with digital ads and they think print is more trustworthy. 82% of them. That's a lot. And that was a USPS study from 2019 before the pandemic. So, again, I really want you to think about that, right? Let me share another example. I was ready to hire somebody for a task, and I met that business online. I scheduled a call. I showed up at the time that the call was, and the Zoom link didn't work. So I went back on the online thread where I met the company and I said, hey, um, I tried to log in, but the Zoom link wasn't working. She's like, oh, yeah, there's no call because you didn't fill out the form to tell me about your business first. And I'm like, okay, like your expertise is customer journey. That's what I was about to hire the company for. And you have here a ready and willing customer who was ready to give you literally thousands of dollars. And now I'm told I didn't fill out the questionnaire. So again, they lost the sale and with me, instant credibility because in my mind, they were no longer legitimate. How can you be a customer journey expert if you were not able to close a sale for a person that was literally just ready to hire you on the spot. Okay. They missed the mark on capturing the sale, and I just couldn't see myself hiring a company whose specialty was customer journey after I just experienced firsthand the mess up of a lost sale over being stuck on filling out their 2-question form. Right? I'm like, you couldn't just, no. Okay. What was their event? Their event was a Zoom call. What they did before could have set the precedence of this to close the sale. What I got before was just a bunch of emails that really much sounded like an autoresponder. And there was nothing else. Could they have said, hey, here's a postcard that they send in, right? Takes a little bit of time, but maybe don't schedule your event out until you had a chance to actually reach that person. And let them know, hey, we want to make sure that we can serve you at the highest level, and therefore we need to have you fill this out, right? There's so much other things that could have happened. Big mess up. So even meetings are events, yes. And what you do leading up to them is critical. Because hey, just a reminder, we have a call scheduled, that's an autoresponder. I'm not going to entertain an autoresponder as something that needs responding to. Okay? This is critical to understand. And so many people forget that we get numb to a lot of that, right? But you can't lose out on a sale. Now, here's how I solve this in my real estate business for print marketing. Those are pre-listing boxes that we drop off before listing boxes. We do have our buyer boxes ready to go as well. And we have all of our members inside GeoCentral to do these things as well. This is how we show up before the event. I want people to look at that box. We call them wow boxes. And I want them to think like, oh my gosh, like, wow, she went through all this trouble. Yes, because I want you to understand that this appointment, this event that we're about to have together is really important to me. Okay? Does that make sense, everybody? Yes? I know these boxes are so fun. Now, those pre-listing packages and customer journey points lead the way to a successful appointment. Make sense? Awesome. And of course, we can talk about neighborhood events since these are fantastic for visibility, but we are coming up on time. So let's get through the rest. Another class for that one. So let's recap. What was the most important part of the BLT? Drop it in the comments. Yes, meet in the middle. Liked, okay? Just remember it this way, liked. But you can get to that point if you haven't identified your target. And that's done in our world through envelopes, right? That is the be known level or mailers. Which brings me then to today's special invitation. When it comes to mailing, you have so many options. And many of you want the easy button. Only problem, when you have that easy button, we're going to talk about that next. But you really have to listen in on this one because when I found it, I had to get it into my presentation because it's this good.
So to answer your question, first, I don't think any of you should delegate any of it at first, because if you don't understand it, you won't know how to hire. And more importantly, you won't know how to judge someone that you hired if you don't understand it.
And that comes from Gary Vee. This in itself, I know it was a mouthful, but essentially it says, do not hire unless you understand it and know what you hire for so you can make sure that you know what they're doing and you can lead the way. Okay? I want you to take back control of your business first. Listen, this is no different than Zillow selling you back your own leads. Anybody likes when that happens? Yeah, I don't either. So let's take charge. You can do that inside the next Mailer Bootcamp if you're ready for action. Remember, I showed you the 3 paths. This one here is one of them. That's mailerbootcamp.com, in which we're going to go through that first tier. Because without that first tier, it doesn't matter if you're having all these emails and all these amazing things. You need people to know you, right? Now, before we finish up with our class recap, and I still have to give you access to the quiz that reveals how much of a hyper-local agent you already are. How was today's class? I want you to text review to 3580. Remember, I want an honest review on today's class. We'll send you out a thank you gift on it because we're trying to build our class reviews up, making sure we can help more agents understand these things. Okay. Yes. Oh, real quick, we'll drop it in the chat. So let's review today. In order to become known and establish your brand, you will be using envelopes. That's right. That's the mail part. Longevity, legitimacy, right? Become known. Yes. If you want to dive deeper into mailers, remember there's the two options. You can attend the bootcamp or you can get the book, Success with Real Estate Mailers. Both of the buttons are below this video. Now, it is not really a this or that choice because with our book purchase, we have also included tickets to the bootcamp. Okay, so if you get the book, we'll add a ticket into the next bootcamp for you. Sound good? That's the book right here. Yes. And remember, the bootcamp itself is really for action takers. That's the part where we want to make sure you're going to get your first or next mailer done. It starts with one, and then from there, I promise you are hooked as much as I am. The bootcamp, who is it for? Real estate agents, insurance agents, mortgage brokers, small service business-based businesses, real estate agents who don't have a farm but want one, real estate agents who do have a farm but want to grow, real estate agents new to the area who lived in the area their entire life, brand new real estate agents, seasoned area agents. Yes, the list goes on. Believe me when I say I've had a lot of people, thousands of agents come to this bootcamp, and it really has helped so many of them to put the pieces together into action. So let's continue the review of today. In order to build relationships at scale, you will be using, drop it in the comments, email. You will be using email. Yes, consistent emails. That's a big one. And in order to get belly to belly and establish trust with your prospects, one to many, you will be using events. Remember, it could be open houses, listing appointments, buyer consultations, community events. And the most important part is not the event. So here is the quiz I promised you for staying with me. I know lots of action items towards the end. How much of a local agent, hyperlocal agent are you? Take the quiz, the hyperlocalagent.com/quiz. And you can also scan the QR code if you're watching from a computer and happen to have your phone available. All right, I'll leave it up for a couple more minutes. The hyperlocalagent.com/quiz or scan the QR code. Okay. All right. Now, to wrap it up, don't forget to join us in the next class. And with that said, we're going to go ahead, wrap up the class, and then you can pick your path down below. Remember, we got ClassPass coming soon, in which you can get access to the classes. We got the Lifetime Learner Pass and the Book Reader Pass and the Action Taker Pass. Either way, you are going to be just fine after this class becoming the hyperlocal agent. Deploy the system, make it work. It is truly one of the best things, I think, that you can do for your life and business. All right. Well, that's it for today. Thanks all. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and answer those. Yes. All right. And I'll see you in the next class on Monday.
I'm down for the ride, baby. Don't you know I'm good? Yeah, I'm feeling alright. You know I'm down for whatever tonight.